Hey everybody, this is Dan. I just wanted to give you some pointers on how to find some resources. So a lot of people had trouble on the first paper, paper two, in finding some resources that had some information on the effects of antitrust policies on structured economic performance. So I'm just going to show you a few ways to use the Mirlyn catalog to find some of these resources. So the first thing you want to do is actually log in to your Mirlyn account to make sure you can access the full text of anything that we find. So one industry that a lot of people had was electricity. So just start with electricity antitrust, see what comes up. And we get some results here. And over here under subjects, we have antitrust law United States, and competition. So I'll just pick competition. Any of those would be fine. You could also just restrict to books or microforms or whatever you wanted to look at. And it looks like here we have antitrust aspects of electricity deregulation, a hearing before Congress, and then antitrust concerns in the modern public utility environment. If you click on these, you'll get the page with the electronic resource. If you open these, they'll actually take you to these websites I already opened. So here's antitrust concerns in the modern public utility environment, and here's the full text right here. And it's a document by a law professor, gives you, here's the executive summary, and I think he talks about a brief history of antitrust, and then he talks about the effect of these antitrust policies. So, of course, you should not just merely parrot what James Meeks of Ohio State says, but you can use this as one of your resources, and of course you can always go to the end or find footnotes and trace those footnotes to their source and find what the footnotes are saying, and that'll be another resource. There was also a congressional hearing. That one's right here. So this is why you want to be sure you're logged in so you get this proxy lib umish edu thing, and that's going to give you access to the full text. So we have these witnesses from a lot of electricity companies, and here's the full text of the PDF, or if that's too much, you can get it in sections. So those are a couple things to look at. Of course, you can refine your search string to get a bunch of different things. So there's also college sports that people did. So you could do college sports antitrust. And then, it doesn't really look like anything's coming up. But what if we put in here economics, right? See what comes up there. All right, we have a book on the economics of college sports. There's probably a chapter in there on antitrust. Again, we could just restrict to books if we wanted to. Here's something about antitrust law and economics. Antitrust implications of the College Bowl Alliance, which is a hearing before the Senate. And here you can open that up here in ProQuest. And again, you'll get a hearing. Here are your witnesses. Head football coach, University of Louisville, executive director of the NCAA. And here's the full text of the PDF, 166 pages. So that could be something to look into. You could also restrict by author. So the NBER might be one you want to look at. And then there's some papers here. It's unclear, not everything is going to be super relevant, but this is just to get you a start. And we could also try health insurance antitrust, if that's what you were doing. And then we have some things here on health insurance and, consolidation, Pennsylvania health insurance industry, et cetera, et cetera. So what I did was I restricted to health insurance United States under subject books and the NBER. And here you find Antitrust and Competition in Healthcare Markets by Martin Gaynor. You open that up and you get this. Another helpful thing you can do is on the right side, it tells you to view similar items. And if you do that, you can see that there are going to be other things with similar titles. Maybe they're useful, maybe they're not. Entry and competition in local hospital markets. If you're not doing hospitals, that wouldn't be useful. But if you were, then it would be useful. Another thing you could do is instead of just clicking on the get this and having them bring the book to you, so say there was something in Hatcher, or even if there wasn't, you could go find this code in the library, in the physical shelf space, and all the books around that will be on the same subject. So you could get a lot of other useful books here that maybe you're not going to find here. So like if I clicked on this, it would probably also be an RA and then somewhere around 410. And then other things that aren't showing up there under similar items would also be in RA 410. So, here's the antitrust and competition in healthcare markets. Again, you want to make sure you're logged into your account so that you get this. That's going to let you read the paper. And you get the full text of the paper right there, 91 pages, and hopefully a lot of information in there. And, if you scroll down to the bottom, so the appendix is usually useful, and footnotes, here's a list of vertical restraints cases in health insurance, in healthcare monopsony cases, effects of standard merger on price by ownership form. You could, and here's some studies. So you wouldn't just want to say from table 4 what the results of the studies were, but go find the Link study or the KMZ study, and you'll have to read, and here's where they say what KMZ is: Keeler, Melnick, and Zwanziger. And then if you go up to the works cited, here's merger effects on concentration, right? If you go up to the works cited, you can find KMZ, and I've already forgotten the names, but I think it was Keeler, Melnick, and Zwanziger. So you could find this in the Journal of Health Economics if you went on Google Scholar or something like that. So there are some places to start, and use your noggin to track down some more sources. Using this as a little bit of inspiration. All right, guys, good luck.